because after all, they believe it was providential. God gave us the right as white people to be in charge, you see? And this is the thing that really rubs people the wrong way, and it rubs me the wrong way all the time, because I say to myself, don't they realize there's only one humanity? There's only one race. It's the human race. And we all have the same distributed intellectual abilities. There's no group of people, no region of people, no country in the world that is smarter than anybody else. We all have those capabilities, and that's the thing that we have to see. They tell us that Africa was a land of barbarism. Don't deal with Africa. When we know, if we read history, that the first universities were on the continent of Africa, that the universities that were at Wasset and at Menefer were much older than any colleges and universities in any other part of the world. They say Africa was unknown and unknowable. What they're saying is that they didn't know it. They're not talking about what Africans knew, because Africans knew the continent. They said Africans had no history. Can you believe that? The Africans had no history. What kind of people are these? Who are these people who are making these lies, telling these things? This is what creates the notion of fascism. This is what creates the idea of imperialism, that I can take you over because I'm smarter than you, I'm better than you. And they also said that the Africans didn't have a concept of God. There's no concept of God in Africa. Well, wait a minute. The concept of God comes from Africa. The first people who ever called the name of Ra, or Atum, or Ptah, or Amen were Africans. The first sign of the name of the divine, the metaphor for the divine, for the creator, were made by African people. No other people, because at the beginning there were no other people anywhere else on the earth except Africa. It was the first place where you got human beings. So they were the first ones to call the name of God. Nobody else called the name of God before Africa. And then if you look at American history, and they talk about this immigration, and I'll just say a few words about this, that, up until 1921, anybody could come to this country if you were white. And up until 1921, they didn't have any immigration laws. That's why they had so many Europeans coming in the 1800s. That's why the Irish came after the potato famine in Ireland. The Irish came in the 19th century. That's why the Russian Jews came. That's why the Italians came from Sicily and other places in Italy. They came because it was open borders. The borders were open. All you had to do, you get to America, and they sign you up. That's it. That's the Ellis Island story. There's and you go back further than that. When the first Europeans came here, they didn't go through no immigration checks. The Native Americans didn't say, okay, wait a minute. You coming in here, wait a minute, show me your papers. Dr. Jabali, I say, show me your papers. You coming from England, you got to have some papers. Who gave you the right to come in here? Just come on our shores and come in. You see what I'm saying? Do you see how crazy this is? And so now, after 1921, and then 1921, when they passed a law for immigration, you know what that law for immigration was? It was to make sure, this is good, to make sure that more white people from Western and Northern Europe, let's say England and Germany, come to the United States than people from Southern Italy and Eastern Bulgaria, Europe. That's what the law says. The law put a quota. It says, wait a minute, we want more people from Northern and Western Europe. That's what Trump is going back to. We want people from Norway. And this is the insanity of this belief, because they believe that somehow the whiter you are, the smarter you are. As I said, I've been teaching for 45 years. I've never seen that. It's a crazy thing, but this is what they believe. And so this notion of the law favoring immigrants from Northern and Western Europe over those from Eastern and Southern Europe was the basis for a long time of American immigration. You could come in here, you can even come from Eastern and Southern Europe, but you had to make sure that you that you were within the quota, because they had a quota for them. You see how many people can come. Now this didn't apply to the Chinese, didn't apply to the Indians. They were not here. They were not in this yet. Even the Native Americans could not do it, could not say that they are citizens at this time. This was really a white thing. This immigration law was to try to regulate the number of Western and Northern Europeans coming into America, and it had to be more than the Italians and the Portuguese. That's what they were trying to do. That's what they've always been trying to do, you see. And they had to create a notion called race. That's what this word race is not a natural word. Just create a concept. Say race. They are racists. Wait a minute. Are they racist? There's only one race. Humanity. Human race. Homo sapiens. What's the other races? There's the only race, Homo sapiens. So they had to create this. And they realized after a while that there were many cultures. Now, there are many different cultures. And some cultures, here's the thing about culture. You can be in a culture that is different from the way you look, your phenotype. This I always tell people. I say, you know what? Phenotypically, and also by birth, Clarence Thomas comes from the same part of Georgia as I do. He comes from southern Georgia. And phenotypically, he may look like me, but he ain't my culture. It's totally different culture. It's different. People have different cultures. And in fact, the culture that he promotes is mainly what is dominantly a Eurocentric culture. It's a whole different thing. So you have to be very, very careful. And I told you about Sheikh Anta and the two cultures. Now, let me just say this, and then I'll bring this to an end, because I just wanted you to know this. I mean, I said to myself, the fact of the matter is that since Tim Welbeck was not going to be here today, I'm going to come in and give this little talk so that I can just share with you the ideas behind imperialism, which is the idea that you can take over anything. You can change the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. You can take over Canada and Greenland. You can believe that foolishness, but there are people who believe that. They actually believe that. But I guarantee you there will be great resistance.